So this is Wednesday, September 30th. I'm here with Alan Eoff. Alan, you're going to have a court hearing coming up in just a moment. Can you give us a brief 2 to 3 minute synopsis about your situation and what is going to take place today?
Sure. So back in 2016, the mom moved from Dallas down to Rio Grande Valley, 500 miles away. I didn't have a court order at that point, so it wasn't considered kidnapping. A few months later, her and a date left my child in the car at a bar. She was arrested. I had temporary orders.
How old was the child at the time?
1 year.
1 year old. She was in a bar for how? Was it at nighttime?
Yeah, it was at nighttime, approximately 1 hour.
Okay.
They went in and got a beer and a shot. And I had an emergency court hearing in Tarrant County. The judge in Tarrant County did not give me any emergency temporary orders. He said I needed to find out where the mom lived and go file there.
Do you have any idea? Can I ask who the judge was who did that?
Yeah, it was Judge Harris, 233rd. He's gone now.
Okay, gotcha. So then he told you that you had to find out where she was and give orders to her where she lives now, or where she lived at the time?
Yeah, I needed to go find out where she lived and file there.
Okay.
So I went down to Hidalgo County and filed there.
Hidalgo's down by the border, is that correct?
Right, Rio Grande Valley.
Okay.
So I had an emergency hearing down there. I hadn't been able to see my daughter in 7 months due to litigation in Fort Worth. We were tied up fighting about jurisdiction, so I never got any temporary orders or any visitation.
So for 7 months you did not see your daughter at all?
Correct.
Okay.
And then, so when I had an emergency hearing down there, they said, you haven't seen your daughter in 7 months, and so we're going to ask that the mom supervise your visits. And this is right after the mother was arrested, and she had to supervise my visits because I hadn't seen my daughter in 7 months.
Okay. That sounds crazy.
That wasn't a good start.
No, it was not a good start. And so how long ago did this all take place?
Well, that was back in 2017.
Okay, so this has been going on for several years then?
Yes.
Okay.
But over the course of last year, the mother is still married. She's moved in with the next door neighbor who is now her boyfriend. She's pregnant with the next door neighbor. And the next door neighbor has been arrested for injuring both of his, he's been arrested for injuring either a child or an elderly person, 2 of them, which is believed to be his children. He's out on a $50,000 bond. And we had an emergency hearing on September 2nd of this year. And the judge said that 7 police visits to the house and 2 counts of injury to a child is not substantial evidence to believe that the child is in danger. And so now, today, we're going to be talking about the guardian ad litem.
Okay.
In 2017, I interviewed the guardian ad litem, and I believe that's a conflict of interest. So I would like the guardian ad litem removed.
Okay.
And that may or may not happen today. And I'm not sure what else could happen today in today's court hearing.
I'm also here with a few other people who are watching this case with me, and you know Alan.
I do.
For how long have you known him?
So Alan and I have known each other for 3.5, almost 4 years now.
Okay, and he's a rascal, right?
He is a fun guy. So he's a loving dad. He, one of the joys of our friendship has been just to have around the house.
Right.
And the time that he spent with her has just been amazing. He, just throwing the birthday parties that he's had and brought like little play dates around for her to enjoy.
Right.
I have 2 sons of my own, and so as a father of 2 boys, they're in college now. It just warms my heart to see another great dad that's really doting on his daughter.
But another great dad that's also being excluded from his daughter's life.
He is, and I've had a similar experience with from the courts and being alienated from my kids by their mother. And I know it's a very painful thing for a father that just loves his girl.
And I don't know what happened in your situation, but for a father to be almost made a visitor at best in a child's life, and then often having a boyfriend or a fiance or a new husband become primary father. So it seems like. I don't know if that happened to you as well, but when you talked about alienation,
Yeah.
were any of those factors present?
In my experience?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mom got remarried and really encouraged one of my sons to start calling her new husband Dad.
Dad, yes.
And it was painful.
It was, yeah. And I'll tell you also from a child's perspective, it can be painful at times.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like they have, I hate to say it like this, but sometimes it's almost like they've got a gun to their head and they have to do it.
Yeah.
And, or they can be excluded as well. But so you've known Alan, you've got nothing but good things to say about him. Certainly there's dirt all over the place on Alan. I mean, the judges just know that he's just
The
not
only
a good...
dirt there in the house is that I vacuum it up on the weekends.
Okay.
You know, so, but it's all vacuumed up and I emptied it in the trash.
Okay, gotcha. And would you also like to talk about Alan? And, okay, so you don't have to give your name. I'm just, but how long have you known Alan?
I think I've known Alan for 4 or 5 years now.
Okay.
I met him when he was very young.
Okay.
And he loves nothing more than that little girl.
Right.
And he's always got fun pictures of her. They do all these adventures with all these different experiences. And
Yeah.
he's so focused on giving her a full world.
Right.
And it's so beautiful to see that because, I mean, most parents are just trying to get through.
Right.
You know, you're just trying to get through the days.
Right.
And he's found a way to get through the days and make her life more full, which
Right.
is so important.
So I got to actually meet her very briefly. I didn't get to talk with her, but we had an event about 6 weeks ago that Alan was at with me, and she did not look like she disliked her dad at all, you know?
No,
I'm afraid of you, Dad. I'm afraid of you.
they always have so much fun together.
Yeah.
And he doesn't just let her run rampant or whatever.
Right.
I mean, he still
Yeah.
is guiding her
Right.
as she grows up. He
Right.
wants her to be a good woman,
Right.
you know, when
Absolutely.
she becomes an adult. But in shaping her, he's showing her all these things that she could be, you know, that
Right.
go to so many different places, and it's so great that he's giving her such a well-rounded childhood,
Right.
you know.
So, I mean, let me ask, I'm going to just be blunt about the question here.
Sure.
You're a mother.
I am.
Should mothers always get the primary custody?
Absolutely not.
Oh, wait a minute here. You're kind of blowing this, you know, the whole narrative here. Tell me why not.
In my case, it was easy.
Mm-hmm.
My ex-husband was in the military, and he was deploying multiple times to Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
It was easy, but he loves them, and we had an amicable divorce,
Mm-hmm.
as amicable as it could be.
Right.
And we both just focused on the kids.
Yeah.
And in that case, whichever parent can provide them the most stable home
Yeah.
is fantastic. You
So-
know? But the mother isn't always that person.
Right, right. So let me ask another question then to you, and it's going to be a little bit, I'm going to
Sure.
ask a question, then I'll pull
Sure,
back from
that's fine.
here. But the issue with divorce, did your children, there's this saying going around that children are resilient. Children are happy if their parents are happy.
Mm-hmm.
And many people have started to say that's largely a myth. Parents or children want to see both parents together. They want to see their parents work it out. Even in the so-called good divorces, should such
Right.
exist, there is still trauma to children.
Of course.
Could you confirm that? I mean, or is the myth of society, the myth that I'm calling it, the thing that I'm calling a myth, is it actually a truth?
I think it depends on every single case
Uh-huh.
because there are marriages that when they stay together, there's abuse, and that's not healthy for the children to see.
Right, right.
That's not the example we set for our children.
Right.
There are cases where one parent is so unhappy that they just kind of disappear into themselves, and then
Yeah.
that still leaves the children without one parent, even
Yeah.
if they're still married.
Yeah.
If two people can agree that they are not good together and they choose to separate homes and still both focus on the children, we could be amicable friends and not stay married. And that was best for our children. It's not easy.
Yeah.
There's no perfect family. There's no perfect marriage.
Yeah.
And it's just, you have to make the best choice you can.
Yeah.
Always keeping the children in mind first.
Yeah, yeah. So I get what you're saying. And in Texas, what we have is no fault divorce, which really,
Right.
in many times, becomes forced divorce.
Yes.
And there are reasons for divorce. Divorce is a remedy. There
Yes.
are things that, you have to say. That's why I would say in the vast majority of instances, the best interest for the child is to be raised in an intact two-parent family with natural mother and father. But there are instances that you could make the case that it's not, or like you said, the issues of abuse or whatever. So, but you don't have any, you don't know of all of these things. Alan is a good dad.
He is an excellent.
Okay. Do you want to say anything as well?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to go into as much detail.
No, that's okay. That was it was only because she brought up mentioned the topic that I went a little bit. But go ahead. So tell me what you know about Alan.
Okay. Well, I have known Alan for about 5.5 years.
Okay.
I actually met him right around the time he was born.
Okay.
So I've known her whole life.
Wow.
And I know he loves taking her places and doing things with her that's not just sitting down in front of the TV.
Yeah.
I work for the Texas Rangers baseball team, and they love going to the Rangers games. I would always see them at the baseball games. And he's just a great dad, always trying to find new and different things for her to experience.
Okay, I'm going to ask you all a question if you don't mind, and you don't have to answer. And if it's a question that I should withdraw, just let me know. Do you feel that he is in danger right now?
Yes.
I do.
And do you want to speak about that as well? Because you just got it. You can if you
I'm
want
sorry.
to. No, you don't need to.
I came from Fort Worth, well, from Keller.
Okay. Do you mind if I put you on video here?
I'm sorry.
Do you mind if I put you on video?
No, not at
Okay,
all.
go ahead. So tell me about, you feel that she is in danger where she is right now, and why would that be?
Right, based on the background that we know of her, what, is he technically a stepdad? I don't even know that. I don't know what their relationship truly is.
Right.
And so he's been placed in this, environment that, first of all, to go back to the beginning, she was basically ripped from Alan's arms, not
Right.
knowing, where she was.
Right.
And when he finally had the opportunity to be in her life, he has done nothing but
Focus.
support her and
Yeah.
be there for her.
Yeah.
I know the drive down to South Texas.
It's not an easy drive.
Every Christmas and every vacation I spent down there in Edinburgh where my family was. And that's a difficult drive. And he was spot on every time. He was going to be there no matter what.
Yeah.
And, many times turning right around and coming back because he has a job too to support her.
Right.
So, it's very important.
Are you aware as well that in the state of Texas, when a judge makes a decision, that the decision is supposed to be based on maximizing Title 4D funds? Do you know anything about that at all?
I don't know 4D funds.
So Title 4D funds, they're tied in child support. They need to have a child support order.
Okay.
And the Texas Family Code talks about the best interest of the child about 140 times, directly or indirectly. It never ever defines it.
Okay.
So nobody knows what this is, but they talk about the best interest of the child. But the Texas Family Code in section 201-107C, I believe it is, it says the judge must make a ruling, must make the ruling to maximize Title 4D funds of the state. So in other words, the decision the judge makes has to be that which benefits the state financially. Wow. Are you does that kind of seem like, how do you think this plays in here?
I'm a single mom. I had a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Right. Right.
And child support was very difficult to deal with, and I didn't know that about benefiting the state.
And also too, that's why the judges. There is in our Texas Family Code there must be I'm pretty sure it's in here. I don't have the exact statute, but there must be a child support order given. And there are times that the Attorney General's office, because they're in charge of the child support, will actually go after a parent, a father or a mother, and the other person doesn't even know about it. So can you imagine the animosity that creates between two people? And there's even on the website that says, well, if you're being dragged in, don't blame your spouse. It may be us.
No.
And now how is this in the best interest of the child
Right.
when this is undisclosed? I think it's a lot.
Very interesting. I've taught divorce care, which is a program. It's a
Right.
national program. I was trained for it and
Right.
taught it for several years, and that's very good to know.
Yeah.
I need that.
Yeah, so you teach it in a church, I would assume then.
I'm sorry?
Or do you teach divorce care in a church situation?
I did,
Yeah.
yes. I don't right now, but I did.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that I think that with the churches themselves, because I know that the church has a lot of good stuff that they can offer. I think in many instances the church is afraid to do difficult.
Right.
They do good, but then there are times it's kind of like the blinders come on and they don't want to know any more information. Too much information is going to cause us to crack.
We dug down. I mean,
Yeah.
we would get down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
And I mean, divorce care truly is, I mean, it's a wonderful program that
Right.
it doesn't allow the church to be necessarily running it. It's,
Right.
It's, the facilitators.
Right. Yeah. No, I've seen some of them. They have been good. There have been times that what I think that needs to take place is that there needs to be the pre-divorce care, because even the judges are saying that in at least 40% of the cases, they are what they call unnecessary divorces.
Right.
If the state actually had a program, or did not sanction and approve of divorce on demand, you could save that marriage, and it's not just the marriage, but the family.
Right.
And that would create stronger citizens. The adverse effects of divorce on children, often you see them immediately, but for many people, they are almost lifelong. And you know that.
I'm going through that with my 39-year-old daughter right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, get with me afterwards. I'll send you a book.
Okay.
We're going to be talking with somebody, I think, in Arizona in about a week and a half, who's done this book called Primal Loss: The Now Adult Children of Divorce Speak Out. Because for so many years we've been told that children are resilient. Children are happy if the parents are happy. It's a lie. It's a myth.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's so many children of divorce. And like Vladimir Lenin said, destroy the family, destroy society. So we look around America today, and what do we see? Cities burning.
Yeah.
50 years of family destruction. We see families, our society destroying. That's really...
All right, here we go.
Okay.